5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellous show. The fly uncle you always wish you had.
Bring 'em out.
Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events.
Major show alert.
All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out.
You're now rocking with the best.
Here I am, God damn it. Here I am. Welcome to the Romello Marcellous show. I am he and he is me. Welcome to another show. This one's a little different, right? Yeah. You know, I talk about a lot of things, man, and I don't spare the rod. You know, a lot of folks out here pandering and shit, trying to get clicks and views, and I ain't doing that. I'm not about that. And I'm real selective about who I want to talk to, and I like people that are real and genuine and authentic, right? And, you know, a lot of the things that I do talk about are meant to offend folk because there's an awareness that needs to be had. And when we are put on the mark about things, a lot of times we don't want to accept responsibility for the shit that we do and say. So with that said and done, I still stand on my square about the things that I do and say, and in every aspect of the things that I do and say. This show tonight, man, it is indicative of the things that I talk about. Okay, here we go. There was an event that I popped out on. Sometimes you got to pop out and show folks, right? And what I will say about it is that I got the response that I wanted to get. Take a look at it. Tell me what you think. Oh, hang on one second. Let me grab it. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Hang on one second. Here we go.
Foremost, I don't like to use general terms. Your genitalia doesn't classify you a man or a woman, it's your character first and foremost. Okay? Now, being that we are not operating in the traditional sense of man and woman nowadays, here we are. Ladies, every woman I've seen come up to this podium or this mic, and I've been on this thing a few times. You about to get yourself in trouble.
Just trying to figure out what
Hey,
say.
here we go. I'm gonna get to it. Everyone says, or the majority of you said, you want a whole man in your life to provide, keep, and protect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question: how can you have one when you get up every day? Let me do this right. The question. I appreciate all you guys do. Tonight we talked about a few things, right? This is for the ladies. We talked about insecurities in men, being men. First and foremost, I don't like to use general terms. Your genitalia doesn't classify you a man or a woman, it's your character first and foremost. Okay? Now, being that we are not operating in the traditional sense of man and woman nowadays, here we are. Ladies, every woman I've seen come up to this podium or this mic, and I've been on this thing a few times. You about to get yourself in trouble.
Just trying to figure out what
Hey,
say.
here we go. everyone says, or the majority of you said, you want a whole man in your life who can provide, keep, and protect, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the question. How can you have one when you get up every day?
And you're too busy trying to be the best man you can be. Is basically what the question was. Okay. Anyway, it's looping. Not letting me do what I want to do to it. But listen, I can't have this discussion by myself, man. So I asked somebody to come on and help me out, man. And we're gonna crack it. We're gonna get to it. I got my brother, man, Trill, AC. Y'all
My
know him from
dog,
True
what's
City.
up?
Yeah. Listen, you know, when I saw it, when I gave G the question, right? He disappeared. And when I saw that you weren't up there, I said, "Oh, the fix is in." The fix is in. I said, "Yeah, they trying to cook." I said, "The fix is in." And I said, "Well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and drop the Scud missile," because I was like, "Look, it's getting ready to be something else." So I said, "Let me go ahead and roll with it."
Right.
And it is what it is, man. It's a valid question. Even Trip, I tried to bring him into the scenario, and it was like, "Oh no, we went somewhere else with it."
Yeah.
Solid question. I'm going to ask you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing I asked them. Is in this day and age, we're not living under the traditional sense of man and woman. A lot of us aren't. We believe that we can say and do anything that we want to do with and to each other without regard or concern or caring. And I'm speaking from the POV of a man. As a man, we're naturally geared to the respect aspect of our lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was speaking to the fact there's nothing wrong with a woman out here handling her business. I think that's very attractive, a woman that can handle her business. But at the same time, when does it go too far when we are talking about the respect aspect of it? You and I could sit here and whack up $2 million together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have everything we want in the world. But in a moment's notice, we could tear this place up based on some disrespect. So my question to you, as I asked everybody else, how can a woman desire a man when she gets up every day trying to be the best man she can be?
I think that, a lot of women are getting up trying to be the best man they could be because they've never had that type of presence in their life before in terms of a solid example. All they've ever seen was their mother or, sister or whoever um having to do a lot of the heavy lifting on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So they hadn't been able to trust a man that could come in and say, "No, sit down. I'm gonna take care of this. Men do this, men do that. You get out the way." Instead, they see their mama trying to play both roles, and so they feel like that type of thing is okay when it's not. So when they run into a grown man who's gonna be like, "Nah, we're not letting all of that flight of program is gonna run through me. This is how we gonna play it." They gonna clash with them automatically just based on that being so foreign of a concept to them. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing is, a lot of them be in that space or in that mode for so long that they think it's normal. But it's not, and they don't realize that you are repelling good men away, and then they'll turn around and say, "Oh, well, he's not strong enough to be with me," or like he's a weak man, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, nah, he's not a weak man. It's just grown men just like things to run a certain way. I got to battle all day outside. I don't want to have to battle when I come into my household. So it's more of an annoyance than an intimidation aspect. But again, we've kind of coddled women in this era in terms of them like not being wrong or the fact that they could not be wrong or never be wrong. So when a man is telling them that, they go in one end out the other. And that's why a lot of them keep repeating the same mistakes that they repeat within relationships.
Now, the things that go with it, I'm a father, grandfather. Are you a father?
Yes, sir.
You have a daughter?
Yep.
As a father, I never neglected the fact that I needed to tell my daughters how to treat a man.
Mm-hmm.
But in our culture as Black men and women, a lot of us have been raised to, well, there's only a few things that a Black man's going to want from a Black woman. Some coochie and a waste of her time.
Right.
So she's been raised to protect and guard, as opposed to protect and give, i.e., be the voice of reason,
Mm-hmm.
the spiritual sound, and the benchmark to resolve when a man is conflicted in himself about the world. We're warriors. We operate on impulse. But our women, natural accountants, pure hagglers, prime example. We can do an event, and I promise you, we won't get a free ticket anywhere as long as we let the ladies run the door or control the money. That's at anything. If it's a bean factory or a dog fight, all the money is going to be accounted for.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that in the world we live in, you believe that a man has to present the only resource that he has societally to even be accepted or become a consideration to deal with a young lady based on provision?
Man, I think that the reason for that is so many people are operating out of lack or out of fear. Even the successful women, who find it hard to be feminine, even that is out of fear. They operate in the way they do because growing up, there was never a safety net for me, and I might have grew up in circumstances that weren't ideal. And now that I got an opportunity to go out there and change it myself, I'm gonna go 100 miles per hour in changing that. And I will paint that in the light of, okay, that's strength. Okay, that's, she's super ambitious, she this, she that. No, in reality, she just fears not having the security that we talk about.
Hmm.
And that right there heightens or raises that trait that you're talking about on the priority list as far as provision. But the interesting part about that is that, if money kept relationships together, Bill Gates wouldn't be getting divorced. Jeff Bezos wouldn't be getting divorced. Michael Jordan wouldn't have got divorced. It takes way more than money to make a relationship work, but I think you gotta grow from operating out of lack to be able to understand that. And unfortunately, a lot of us don't get that opportunity. Speaking to our culture specifically,
Hmm.
society's kind of programmed men to think that that's all we provide to a relationship or period. And don't get me wrong, we play a role in that as well. Even when we talking to each other, the main insult that you can use to hurt a man's feelings is calling him broke or so saying he can't get no women. You see what I'm saying? So it's a societal thing in general. But again, I think that stems from operating out of lack. Once you elevate from that, start making a little bit of paper, or you meet somebody who make a little bit of paper, you get to realizing money don't fix all them problems. Money bring along a brand new setup.
You better
So
say it.
if you weren't solid before that, then you damn sure ain't gonna be solid on the back end of it. But I think that we got the chance as a generation because it's a lot of us, man. It's more millionaires being made in our era than any time in history. It's a
Mhm.
lot of different ways to make money out here, and I think that we got the chance to change that, show the full range, full spectrum of a man. We way more than our damn money. It's
Say it
leadership,
again.
it's guidance, it's levelness, it's being that support system for, you know what I'm saying? But we need to be able to show that and feel comfortable showing that. I think a lot of men don't even feel comfortable showing all of the traits of ourselves that don't have to do with money based on what you said, that money being held as such a high priority when in reality is it shouldn't be.
You know, you touched on something right there. I put a scenario up yesterday to kind of prime for this. And I'm gonna run it down to you real quick.
Mhm.
Got a couple that's been together for about 2-3 years, right?
Mhm.
And let's say the man, and I'm use the same scenario. He wanted to introduce his lady friend or his woman to his childhood best friend, which was a female. And it was a big push, big push. Yeah, I want to meet you, meet. And the lady was reluctant for whatever reason, and the reasons were probably valid. The man and the woman, they cohabitate. Woman's cleaning up. She finds a box or something, mementos, effects, and there's a letter in there from the lady or the now lady expressing the interest of being intimate with the man again. The woman reacts, tears up everything in the box, put the box back. Man comes home. At some point in time, he goes and finds the box. Man is furious. Tells a woman he can't trust her anymore because she tore up his things. Who broke the trust?
Mm, I would say, I would say he broke the trust first because for one, that scenario is outrageous. I think he didn't shed light on what the true nature of that relationship was. Now, I can understand why you wouldn't do that, or why he wouldn't want to do that out of fear of his wife putting an end to all of that shit. But I think like once that was factored in, he didn't tell the full nature of the relationship. So when she found the note, in her mind, automatically everything you said before this was a lie. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't void her from having any responsibility. Like it's not her business to go through that man's things or whatever the case may be. But what she found in there was a valid reason for her to be to be annoyed. And I think in that scenario, if you fail to disclose the full nature of the relationship, knowing how uncomfortable she is with just the concept of the platonic friendship right out of the gate, then what benefit would that be of you to hide that from her if it wasn't something nefarious going on?
There you go. But at the same time, why would you do that and then introduce your partner to someone else that you have been in that way with?
Yeah, I don't believe in that. But see, that's my issue with the platonic friendship thing. Like, I don't necessarily believe in platonic friendship. People get on me about that all the time, and it's just like for a friendship to be a true friendship, I think it has to be an understanding on both sides of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that this not going nowhere from a relationship perspective, from a sexual perspective, whatever the case may be. We just cool. Our connection is whatever it is, and that's it. If that's understood on both sides and accepted on both sides, then that counts as a true friendship. But in a lot of platonic friendships, I venture to say most, one side wants more.
Oh yeah, somebody you want it. There, I stand on that. I'm a man. I'm a man's man. God damn it, I'm not making no time for no woman. I ain't trying to, or I've not done, or I ain't trying to do. Just not happening.
Exactly. So, you literally have women out here lying to themselves. Like, no, my male friend would never try me. We've been cool forever. He would never do such a thing. And then, nah, baby, you just ain't presented the opportunity to him yet. You understand what I'm saying? So that whole concept to me just is uncomfortable. So much so that let's say I'm single and I meet a woman who has a male best friend.
Mm-hmm.
We would never become a serious item
There you
based
go.
on that.
There you go.
So yeah, like I say, the whole scenario, bro held back what the nature of the relationship was for a reason
Mm-hmm.
because he already knew that there was some extra stuff going on. You only handwritten note
There you go.
adds a whole different kind of emphasis on it.
Yeah.
We in the era of text messages and emails and shit. They done took the time to write a handwritten note.
Yeah. That means I took time to think about it. I got pen, paper, found stamp, envelope, whatever I needed to find to make sure that you got that goddamn pony man, the express pony. Yeah, run that down there, all that shit.
That's crazy, brother. So
Check this out.
again, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Mhm.
Hey, marriage. You married or you?
Yes,
I don't wanna
sir.
get in-
7 years.
Okay.
Mhm.
You got boundaries, i.e., because you're individuals, but you're one.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference? Privacy or boundaries? Now I'll speak to my beliefs. I'm gonna let you rock with it. I believe that
Okay.
privacy is secrecy.
Hmm.
If we won and we sharing bodily fluids, you got access to passcodes, bank accounts, everything. We don't have no secrets. But I digress.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think especially, we talking about marriage. We ain't talking dating. We ain't talking situationship. We ain't talking I done smashed a couple times and
Mhm.
we cohabitating out of lack. Speaking of what we talking about earlier. No, this is a real marriage. We done stood in front of God. We done took vows. We done did this. Like your livelihood is tied to mine and mine is tied to yours. There shouldn't be nothing that's out of the way. I feel like if something is that hard pressed to be off limits to your partner, then you picked the wrong person. because y'all in that relationship competing with each other and keeping tally and things of that nature. I'm pretty sure if that's your mindset on that type of thing. But yeah, I mean, of course, like access to the phone and the accounts and all like that shit is necessary. If something happened to me, my old lady got to be able to go in there and keep this shit running. You understand, whether it's taking over the account or whether it's doing, whatever the case might be. And it's my job to train her to be able to do so. But if we talking about, phone access and shit like that, like what reason would there be for her not to have the passcode to your phone? Like what, you work for NASA? Like what, you getting top secret government clearance level information? Like what are we talking about here? You understand what I'm saying? So I think that fear of that happening a lot of times is because it's some bullshit going on, if we just gonna be honest. And I think that goes both ways. Women and men do that shit. So it's like, nah, bro, if we chose to walk down this aisle together, then we gonna move as one. If you feel the need to hide something, then we ain't moving the right way. It's kind of similar. It's funny you bring that up. I was watching something the other day, and they was having a discussion about women having a secret getaway fund,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that we married, we got the same account, whatever the case may be, but she tucking money to the side
Of course.
because she not working. So you literally had women on there trying to validate that. Like, no, she's entitled to that money. Like that's her money too. Like, because y'all are one, she not. But it's like, if that's her money too, then how don't he have access to the money? It's our money, but you tucking it in an account that I don't have access to. So you are in violation. That's stealing. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it's no need for that. If we in this thing the way that we should be, you would have access to all of the money you want to if you're my wife. So what is the need for you to tuck something away in a secret account that I don't have access to if it ain't no bullshit going on? But they was literally on there trying to argue that she's validated in doing that. And I'm like, hell no.
Hey, you remember that movie with Morris Chestnut and Gabrielle Union? Two Can Play That Game.
Yeah.
Anthony Anderson, his part when he was going through the breakup and doing his thing, he made a valid point with that. There are no women that want to pick up the check.
Mm-mm.
And when she set him down and destroyed his life, she said, "You want me to pay?" He said, "No, I got it." And the tone that Anthony had put down with him is basically, you couldn't even buy her dinner at that point. She had already checked out months ago.
Yep.
Took everything she needed to take from you and proceeded to whoop your ass in front of everybody.
Yep. Leverage play. A
Mm,
straight leverage play. And man gotta be like, women are slick, man. Women will use our own ego against us.
you better say it.
And that's why I wish a lot of men was a little more sharp in that area, so they wouldn't be able to get that finesse off so much. But that's all that was. And I know exactly what scene you talking about. Or it's women who do that right now. If you go on a date, let's say first, second date or whatever, and y'all get ready to pay it, she'd be like, you sure you got it? You sure?
Yeah.
And what she's saying is she ain't talking about that bill. That's a leverage play to let you know that I don't need you. Like, I
Mhm.
can do all of this on my own, and at the drop of a dime. You doing this is not of any super significance to me. Like, that's what that is. That's a leverage play. But again, men got to stop letting women use our ego against us, bro. It happens way too much.
So how do we? So many of our brothers, man, are distorted. Meaning this, and no pun intended, ladies. They govern these female tendencies where they have to prove something. They got to prove something. I'm a man's man. If I give my word is bond. It may not happen all the time right when it's supposed to happen, but motherfucker, I'm gonna tell you something. I have not forgot you. It's gonna happen in a timely manner. I'm doing everything I need to do to make sure that my word is solid.
Mhm.
Everything that I am. But okay, hey, I'm gonna give you this, and I'm gonna give you the floor because I'm gonna put this question on you.
Mhm.
I had my brother TK Kirkland on the show
Mhm.
in the same scenario. The average date is about $200. Solid date, decent. And that's just food. We ain't talking about drinks because you'd run it up. Okay. 6 months. That's $14,400, $14,600. Some females will sit back and allow you to run yourself in the goddamn ground and not pull you back. And good with life with that before they decide to make a commitment to you. And then when they make the commitment to you, they decide, or excuse me, in their mind that you got to keep that up as well as start to establish a life with them. While all along they dragging your ass and disrespecting the fuck out of you with the bravado that I don't need you and yeah, fuck you, nigga, and woo woo woo. And if you don't, I got 5 other options that will. What I say about options, if you have options, you are merely an option. And that goes over a lot of folks' head, a lot of brothers' head. And they lack the level of stoicism that they need to exist in the world to make and ensure that their value is in place with the woman that they're with. We've all made the mistake. I've made the mistake where we've lost ourselves at times because our love as men is authentic when we give it, because we don't give it often. A woman can get our heart. To the world, we are heartless bastards. This one woman walking around with our heart in her purse. She can call and say 1 or 2 things and fuck up our day, or say 1 thing and we be 1,000,000 feet tall. But is she reciprocal? Is she genuine? Does she even like me? We as men, we love authentically. Women, they love emotionally. Edgar Allan Poe wrote a poem, and it was basically to say it could be years of love, but 1 20-second moment of emotion could negate all of that with a woman. And here we are, stuck in a rut, trying to figure out what happened, and she was gone months ago. How do we navigate? What
Man,
things
I
can we
think,
tell our young brothers, man?
bro, I tell you, like, first things first, man, like your power as a man, like, is not in what you're capable of doing. It's what you're capable of saying no to.
There you go.
And what I mean by that is it shouldn't even get up to 6 months without you taking a step back, looking at things objectively and being like, you know what, the rhythm is not being reciprocated. And we know as men, but that goes back to what I said about we got to stop letting women use our egos against us, right? Like, we know that she ain't feeling us like that. And to be honest, that partly makes us want her more. So now instead of saying, hey, we not operating on the same wavelength, so let me move around to a woman who actually likes me and who's actually willing to reciprocate, we'll say, you know what? Let me try harder. Let me plan a bigger date. Let me spend more money. Let me buy her a more expensive bag just to show her that I'm capable, or to show her that I'm worthy of her, when you don't have a damn thing to prove to her, bro. Don't let them use your ego against you. And that's what that type of thing happens. So then on the back end, we turn around and say, oh, she finessed us. No, you finessed yourself. You
Say it.
knew halfway through the first date that this shit wasn't going nowhere. Like I said, if you don't have any kind of interaction with women, you know when they really, really rocking with you, bro. And a woman, from the eye contact to the hand placement when she laughed, to the way she look in your eyes and actively listen and actively respond. It's a lot of men these days be on dates with a woman that's looking at her phone 60% of the day.
You better
Y'all
say
sitting
it.
at the table, will be having a conversation, sitting right across each other, one-on-one. She doing this, all halfway respond. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you already know as a man, like, okay, yeah, this ain't going nowhere. That right there is over. If I'm dating, first date, you doing that, we not dating no more. You are in the recreational only category right out the gate.
Say it
But
again.
instead of doing that, but as a man, like, your confidence got to be high enough to be willing to walk away from that. And that's what I mean by, it's not what you're capable of doing that's your true power as a man. It's about what you're willing to say no to. It's the same thing in business. It's the same thing everywhere else. That's where your strength lies. If you able to look at that contract that they put on that table, we got 50,000 cash for you, but it's some bullshit on the back end. It ain't about the fact that I got 50,000 cash. It's like, you know what? That's not enough. I'm worth 100, and some points on the back end. The fact that you wouldn't walk away from that person you negotiating with is gonna look at you totally different, right? But if you're willing to cave to whatever it is that they want, or whatever it is that you think that they may need, you lose all leverage. And a lot of men lose leverage from date one and trying to reel it back in or climb back. When in reality, she ain't even worth all of that stuff that you're going through when it's a woman out there ready to do everything that you need her to do for you. So that would be my main piece of advice. Stop letting women use your ego against you, bro. You don't have nothing to prove. You already solid. You didn't already, like, we prove what we need to prove before we even meet the woman through all of the work that we put in to establish who we are as men. All them years on the job that you put in, all of that all that loyalty, being a man of your word, building yourself as a man, learning traits, learning all of these things. Like, so by the time we get to the woman, we done already did the work. It ain't about proving to you who I am. My resume is gonna speak to who I am. How I carry myself, the infrastructure I done created for myself speaks for who I am. I'm not selling myself to you. Like, if I gotta convince you to be with me, then you ain't the right one. So I think men gotta have that type of confidence. And once you get that, you're gonna be way less susceptible to be dealing with bullshit. That's my thoughts on it.
So, masculinity. My position on that is it's necessary in a relationship when it's coming from the right source, right? The man. A relationship thrives with balance. So nowadays, because you have our sisters that have been out here doing the thing that they've been doing, they've adapted these male qualities where they need to be first seen, last heard. How does that, in your mind, let's say your son, let's say you got to talk to your son and he's just now getting into girls. And, you know, a lot of females out here now, they bitter mommies and bitter aunties instructing their life to tell them to do all they can do and get what they can get from, excuse my French, these ninjas out here, you know, and they don't want nothing from you. So use what you got to, blah, 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 never lock into anything. And then on that, it's coupled with the abuses and atrocities that have happened to them. And my position on that is that it ain't my fault. I didn't do it to you. Get the help you need. I'll walk hand in hand with you to make sure you get it, but it's not my fault, and you're not going to dump it on me. But back to the question. What is it that we can tell our sons when it comes to the dealing with the young ladies out here and, basically the lack of, not being able to, or in the mindset that they don't have to prove anything, but they're always going to be beguiled by the things that they see, especially when their hormones start talking to them and they start smelling their own piss. They want to jump off the porch. They want to be seen. They want to have this. They want to have that. What do we tell our young sons? Because these young ladies, they ready. They'll chew them up and spit them out. Sharp.
That's for sure. I mean, I think first things first is to let them know like what your role is when you meet somebody. I think a lot of times we get that part confused and that throws off everything else. When you walking into a dating situation or you walking into, a relationship, your job is maintenance, not construction. And I think that's another example of us letting women use our ego against us. We'll run into somebody who's just like you said, damaged from trauma and upbringing and all of these things. And again, that's a sad situation because a lot of times may not even be their fault. That's the situation that they in. But just like you said, it's not my responsibility to fix what I didn't break. You owe it to me to show up here as your best self. And I'm not going to say 100% healed because I don't feel like anybody's 100% healed. Healing is a journey, right? But you should be well on your damn way down that road to healing by the time you meet me. I need you functional, right? And a lot of us are walking around, jumping in relationship and going from relationship to relationship, and we not functional. We are damaged, looking for people to play doctor, looking for people to play therapist, looking for people to put pieces back together that they didn't play a part in breaking. That's just like me going to the car dealership. If I buy a car and I pay full price for said car, when I get it to my house, I shouldn't have to put it together, right? The car should already be functioning. Now, after I get the car, tail light go out, I fix that. Tire go out, I fix that. Windshield wipers go the dull, I changed that. That's my responsibility. That's maintenance and things that went wrong on my watch. But it should already come to me functioning. Right. And that's what, instead of, and like I said, a lot of men got to look at that situation and say, okay, yeah, she may be cool. Sex may be good. I may like her a lot. I may even love her, but she's not ready to be with me right now. She needs some work. And that's not going to happen on my watch. And we got to feel confident walking away from that and going to find a woman who's already functional so we can hit the ground running. Because if I take on that project, a lot of times, by the time we climb out of that hole, which is her trauma, which is her past, and which is all that, I'll be done lost myself as a man, bro. So it's spending so much energy trying to put her back together. So I think we as men, we got to have a little more respect for ourselves. I know we want to save the day. I know we want to show her, hey, I got you. I ain't gonna run when things get hard. Da, 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 da. But again, damage that happened before you is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is maintenance, not construction. And that's what I would tell my son.
Now, the masculinity factor that comes with, I guess, being in a position where you take care of yourself. I mean, and it's that they become the hunter as opposed to the forager, right? So when a woman steps into the masculine role, what happens? She begins to compete and not collaborate. She leads instead of following or partnering. And there's that constant challenge instead of supporting. And many Black women have been raised in survival mode, unconsciously bringing the energy into that relationship. And I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm a real one. And I'm gonna tell you something. God has given me true resolve, because there's been many times about I want to break the side of your whole fucking head off, with the commentary, because I'm 271 pounds and I move, you hear me? And I shoot these shits, you know what I mean? So ain't no man gonna ever run a foul to me, and we ain't gonna run a fade.
Right.
But I got a little woman that could be 5'2", 5'4", 140 pounds and barking at me like a chihuahua. Fuck you. Yeah. And I got to be like, you understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a veteran. But you got young guys out here that don't have that kind of control or that level of stoicism that says, well, you know what? I've been here and done this. And it takes time. It's like marriage. You know marriage. They say, oh, the first 5 years, you're going to go through hell. After 5 years, and you're running around naked, you're on the beach, you and whatever, you've locked in.
Right.
But most of us have not gotten to that point where we can accept the person that's sitting across from us, and in their mind they're equal to us. And here's my thing that comes with that competition and believing that they're equal. A lot of sisters will step out, and I'm gonna circle back and I'm gonna give you the thing. A lot of sisters will step out with their men without even considering the man that they're with. Prime example, it's Friday night. Your woman goes and decides, well, I'm gonna put on this right here. It's sexy, and I'm gonna show a little skin. You haven't even regarded the fact that you got a whole silverback gorilla in there that is willing to go as far as he's willing to go and can go behind you. And you put him in that turmoil. And when you go out, you are willing to put yourself in a position where you are addressing men in any shape or form. I was always taught when a man addresses a man and a woman, the woman, excuse my friend, shuts the fuck up and waits for her man to address that man. But you got sisters that will step out in front of a man and address the man, even when there's confrontation. And what you could potentially do is get your man killed, because now he's got to be concerned about you and the man in front of him that's running the foul. This is where the competition and the lack of leadership goes, meaning the, i.e., breaking of divine order. What is your position on understanding divine order, and what would you tell your son about divine order or divinity and understanding who he is in the eyes of God, because there is a God.
Yeah, I mean, I think in situations like that, like women don't realize when they try to match a man's masculinity, they cutting it. It's like going into war and cutting one of your arms off before you walk out on the battlefield.
Mm,
It's just not smart. That's not
not at
what your
all.
strength is. Like your strength is femininity. You can get way more from a man by whispering in his ear than you can from standing in his face, barking and putting your finger on his forehead and his chest, and all. Because all that's doing is just revving him up. Now he's starting to consider, like, his instincts take over, which is that if
Mm,
I'm feeling threatened, then I'm just gonna get aggressive. I'm gonna stop listening to you. I don't even see you. You know, a lot of men don't even I don't even see you as a woman anymore. And a lot
say
of
it.
men would take that far, even further. Now, some of us who was raised right, and hey man, this is a woman. Let me just walk away from the situation. I ain't got time for this. But there's some dudes out there who are unstable and will put their hands on you on the spot without thinking. And just like you said, now her man got to come down here and risk jail or risk death because you couldn't control your mouth, or because you're trying to match a man's masculinity. No, we don't. If I'm advising my son, you stay far away from a woman like that,
Yeah.
because that ain't gonna lead you to nothing but trouble, and whether it's within the situation or outside of the situation. You got to know, and you speak on divine order, which is 100% fact. Um, in that scenario, a woman should step when when anybody comes to the door, first person they ask is, "Hey, where's the man of the house?" That's just what it is. Like, that's just how things are. You know what I mean? So for you to step up and feel like, no, I need to prove to this man that I can match him, or you already out of pocket right out of the gate. And like I said, you can't, in realistic terms, like, you can't hold your own against no grown man. Just like you said, you 271 pounds. And a
Hmm.
woman 5'4", 140 talking to you. You could literally pick up with one hand and throw her across the room if you wanted to.
Hmm.
So again, why would I try to match you physically in that way when my femininity can do 10 times more damage? I can get into your head and manipulate, and just like we've been talking about all day, you use your own ego against you. Now you deep in your pocket trying to prove yourself to me, or you ready to go, making moves that's in my favor or whatever. Like, you can get way more progress that way. But I
Yeah.
think it stems from, like I said, a lot of women not having that example of a man growing up. So they feel like, okay, I gotta play the role. So whereas if they would have had a dad, the dad is gonna say, "No, sit your ass down. It's a man talking." You know what I'm saying? Or especially when men is in conflict, get out of the way. Don't
That's
try
right.
to get in the middle with that and, "No, stop it," because now you jeopardizing your man in that situation, because now I'm watching out for you. He might hit you on accident or something, now throwing me off. Now I'm distracted, or you holding one of my arms and he catch me or something like that. No, move out of the way. Like, it's just certain things that have to be taught to our young girls, but it's gonna take men being in the household to be able to teach that. And unfortunately, in a lot of situations that these women are in, there is no male presence in the household to give them that type of game. So they feel like they got to fill those shoes, and they're gonna fail at that miserably until they learn just how strong that their femininity is.
You know, um, here is that, right? When you lead into that, right? How some female could feel the fact that she can step in a ring or in a realm where a man is dealing with another man. Um, Having being raised in survival mode, a lot of things have happened to our young sisters, right? And a lot of it is being, as we would say, overcompensated by the rage that they feel. And I'm gonna say this to my sisters tonight. Listen, if you got any of that going on, you've been abused, anything happened to you, please, please, please seek help. There are places you can go, people you can talk to, that there is no judgment, that you need to unload these burdens because it is affecting your prosperity and your growth in life. Because even though you may feel like that it's not, it actually plays out. You know, your level of your triggers that put you in the mindset that your PTSDs can actually innately hurt an individual that's truly there to help you and be a part of your growth and support you in all the things that you are really looking to do with life. But because you're hurting and you are, here we go. And I'm going to circle back real quick. The second part of that scenario with the guy who lied to the lady, blah, blah, blah. There was another part where he omitted an aspect of his life. We as men, we stand on ourselves to be leaders. And as leaders, we have to question everyone we allow in our back offices because it makes us vulnerable. So, ladies, if a man comes to you and shares anything about him and the things he's going through that could actually make him vulnerable, the minute you weaponize it, you will never have access to that again. You're done. So when he omits aspects of his life that could very well be the thing that say, hey, I'm struggling with this, he can come home. How's your day been? It's okay. He could have went through hell, but because he can't trust you with that aspect of his life again, because you weaponized it, it is what it is. You can't hold that against him. Just know that this motherfucker right here, he's a zombie. You got his heart in your purse, but everything else, he's doing everything he needs to do to hold it together, not hinder you, but to provide, keep, and protect you in every aspect of his life. Now, back to what we were talking about in regards to the moving forward with this. Ladies, because these things are like a conduit because of the things you've been through, you have to get yourself to the point where you can let it go when you meet a man. If you got a real man, you'll know he's providing, keeping, and protecting you. You have to take your motherfucking hands off of it. It's like praying to God. God, oh, please help me, Lord, help me, or whatever divine you play to, Allah, or whoever. He can't do it as long as you got your hands on it. You in the way. Way in the way. And I'm saying this because I have young sons, I have young grandsons, and these are the things that I instill in them. And you know, shit, we all make mistakes, but at the same time, where do we get to a point where we relinquish the struggle bus? You know, everybody got a you know how you used to get on the bus, you got the little token or you put the little dollar in there and you get a transfer. You got to transfer from one struggle bus to the other. When the fuck you gonna go to the car dealership and get a car and start driving your own shit? It's a finish line. You just running just to be running. I didn't do it to you. The individual in front of you didn't do it to you. You have to get to the point in your mind that this individual didn't do it to me. And they're here of their own volition and they see something in me. And I have to be able to express the very things that I see in them. So speaking to the masculinity, right, and the competition and the positions that they've been put in to go through life with, it puts you in a position, and I make a joke about it all the time. There are a lot of females out here that are between the ages of 35 and 47 right now and 50 that are single, got their head on straight, got their money right, got their credit right, but ain't got no man. They got a house full of cats and dogs. Let me say something to you, ladies, tonight. You know what? Just as sure as you fed them cats and dogs, you're going to continue to feed them cats and dogs if you die in that house tonight by yourself. Because at some point in time, them cats and dogs going to get hungry and they're going to come lick your hand. And you're going, you know how they say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, feed to feed. You're going to feed the needy based on your lack of understanding of who you are and the things that you've been through and being able to put the bullshit aside and recognize that everybody didn't do it to you. Go get the help you need, man. We all need it. We've all been through some things. Go talk to somebody, God damn it. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. You know, you have to step down off of the things that are controlling you. Analogy, hands closed, right? Can't nobody put nothing in it. You can't receive nothing until you're open. So you got to be willing to give the things that you want to receive. If you can't give it, you can't receive it. You want love, you want care, you want vulnerability, you want all of those things. You have to be willing to give it. And if you're taking, trust me, some point in time, you're going to be an old spinster and you're going to die alone with some tuna cans in your house and the cats and dogs that you raised and you kept and you thought they was your children going to eat you. That's going to be that. They're going to find you about 6 months later and say, damn, poor cats and dogs. That's all they had.
Yeah, I think
I'm on some other shit right now. Hey,
yeah,
hey
nah,
man, the
I ain't mad
dealer
at it.
talking.
For sure, for sure. You know, I think it's just interesting, especially with a lot of women today who are very, very progressive, very, very accomplished in terms of money, success, and things of that nature. And, they pick up a lot of traits from men on the path to that. But I think a lot of them don't pick up the main one that they should pick up,
Mhm.
which is the ability to compartmentalize. Thing about men, right, is that we have a very distinct ability to compartmentalize, right? So meaning that like both of us, I'm sure it's a bunch of other successful men who gonna see this out there chasing that paper, 100 miles an hour, man, trying to create that infrastructure. We got cars and houses and things of that nature, people that that we responsible for, paying employees, all type of stuff that's going on. And we still had the ability to compartmentalize that when we walk through that door. But a lot of women don't, right? But as a man, I can't talk to my woman the way I talk to people in the boardroom. And I know that. I can't talk to my woman the way I talk to dudes on the street. I can't talk to my woman the way I talk to my homeboys. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to be able to flip that switch and come in there and identify with her masculinity. I mean, with her sensitivity and her femininity and things of that nature, and create a space for her to do that and to be who she is and garner that and support that and encourage that, right? But a switch
Mhm.
has to be flipped, but you have to be able to compartmentalize to do that. And a lot of women struggle with that, especially successful women compartmentalize. She may be on that job directing traffic. Nah, I need you to do this. Nah, I need that by 10 p.m. I need this. I need that. Da, 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 da. She used to just calling shots the whole time around. Then she get in that household and think she could talk to her man like she talked to her employees or talk to her coworkers and things of that nature. And that's what I mean. If you're gonna adapt traits from men, then adapt the most important ones. The
I'm
ability to
beating their asses up. Let me
what you
stop. Like,
mean? Hey, that's
no,
real.
I'm just playing with you. No,
Yeah.
you know when it happens, if it and it's happened in the past with me, I'm kind of looking at it like, are you okay? Are, are you okay? What's happening? And I'm looking around like, okay, something about is Ashton Kutcher about to show up and say you've been punked or, and it's like, wow, you've been through that much, you know, that you got to actually put yourself in a position to let somebody know that you are somebody when you've already been made known that you are somebody because you've been selected, and you got someone going out of their way for you. There's no need to do the extra stuff, but it's a reflection on how wounded some people are and have been in their lives. It's like, damn. And I guess I'm a bleeding heart for those that I love. Let me just put it this way. The women in my life, I don't say no to. I don't give a fuck, and my circle is very tight.
Mhm.
Any one of them call me, I'm gonna come kill everything on the block because they don't bother nobody. And if they call me, I know it's serious. Just that. And for me to, and I'm saying this because a lot of young brothers, they don't know how to disseminate. Okay, you can still have a good woman, but she's been through hell. It's your job if you select her. Because the word says a man found a good thing, a wife found he finds the connotation. It's not gonna come easy. You're gonna till it just like the field. Sweat of your brow, you gotta go get it. But at the same time, it's like, well, if I'm going to get it, when does there come a time when I can say, well, I can breathe based on the trouble and the things that she's gone through? When when is it when does the time come where she can say, well, I can truly trust and believe in the fact that you mean me no harm? Does it
Hmm.
ever come? Does a man ever get a reprieve? And if so, then how should he govern himself? Should he
Yeah.
compartmentalize the rest of his emotions and just say, hey, well, at some point in time, she'll come and tap me on the shoulder and say, here's everything.
No, I think men. The only thing men can do in that situation is simply alienate the type of women that you're talking about. Because let's just be honest, there's some women who you would never be able to do enough to make her feel that comfortable.
Mm,
I mean, there's plenty of good men that get ran off every day for that very reason. Like a lot of women let their past kind of dictate how they move in the future. This man ain't did nothing at all but come in and be solid. But you still are unwilling to take it to sit in that passenger seat, buckle your seatbelt, and keep your damn hands off of the steering wheel because she's just so used to driving. I'm so used to calling the shots. I'm so used to dictating things. I'm so used to just things going my way, making all of the decisions and stuff. I've never been able to kind of lay this on somebody else. So even if a man's capable, it's still so uncomfortable to where she'll rebel against it anyway. And I think it just boils down to her. She gonna have to meet a man with a lot of patience. But unfortunately, the type of men that women want are highly accomplished and confident in themselves and have, a bunch of different options dating wise that they could choose and things of that nature. Those type of men are not gonna have that much patience for that. That's just real. Hypothetically speaking. That's why I say all the time, if I was single, I'd be hard on women, bro. Like
mm.
I'd be very hard. I'm not going for nothing outside of what exactly I need from you. I'm talking about if one thing is missing, it's done. It's over. So
And that's
that's what I mean by alienation, bro. It's like the only way that you're gonna be able to change somebody's behavior is if you remove access.
mm.
But unfortunately, a lot of us will run into women like that, and we'll still have sex with them, or we'll still kick it with them late night,
Well, them the
and
ones.
not realize,
Them,
yeah,
them the ones. Them were the
right.
ones.
But yeah, but the problem with that is that even though in our mind, because we compartmentalize, we writing it off as okay, now it's just a sex only situation.
She.
But to her, to women, sexual interest is actual interest. So now we are like by product creating more of the same behavior that we don't like in women and creating more of the women that we don't like because we giving them any attention at all. So I feel like the only way that that's gonna be able to change is for us to strictly deal with women who we identify with as like tying close to our moral foundation and what it is that we want in a woman. And I'm talking about cutting every other woman off. Any woman who don't fit that, no interaction, no engagement whatsoever. But if you're gonna entertain that type of woman in any capacity, knowing that, like I said, women equate sexual interest to actual interest, even though that's not true. But in their mind, that's how they process it. And we
Mm,
know that. But if we're gonna continue to mess with women on that type of basis, then you lose the ability to complain because you help and create the women that you don't like.
that part. You know, all right. Based on that, right? Let's say this. Black men,
Hmm.
many of us who were raised in environments where their own masculinity was stifled, often don't know how to handle a woman who challenges their manhood. Instead of working together, they find themselves locked in a power struggle, i.e., this. You look at the majority of the single family households in the black community, 78%, a little, maybe a little more,
Hmm.
single mothers. Take my hat off to you. You've done the best you can do. But at the same time, when you have a young man there, 9 times out of 10, he may have an older sister. She's the one who's writing checks, paying the bills, handling all the business, talking to everybody that needs to be talked to run and govern the house. The young boy's position is to take out the motherfucking garbage and stay out the way. What he does is he watches his mama, right? What day is it? Is December what? 16th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Christmas coming. Mama ain't got no whole bunch of money. But here you go. She getting it off her back so she can get up on her feet to make Christmas happen. You hear me? She got Mr. Charlie. She got Mr. Wayne. She got Mr. David. She got Mr. John. The little boy get up in the morning and he passing these motherfuckers on the step on the way to school. You hear me? He 9, 10 years old. But when he turns 16, 17, 18 years old, he recognizes what his mama was doing. His mama was a whore. Excuse me. Let me not say that. She was promiscuous. She was making it happen. She was making provision. So his mindset is he's distorted to the women of the world. So he can't give a woman nothing other than some resource. So it's quid pro quo.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm shifting gears now, right? So the meat and potatoes of the thing is this, right? We got daughters. We got granddaughters. When we steer our daughters into the world, this goes back to the initial conversation where we teach our daughters that, yeah, these young men don't want nothing but your coochie and waste your time and so on and so on. So you got to make sure you in a position, you make sure you get yours. So you don't need no man for nothing. When and where the fuck do we break the cycle and we break the chain? When do we do that? Where our children and grandchildren and so on can really reap the blessings of having true moral turpitude in their marriages or relationships, where someone can really have respect for them and respect for themselves and say, hey, where you been? It's where you are right now. And I'm him. I didn't do it to you. I don't want to be a part of the hurt. I'm a part of the healing process. And however we got to get there, we're going to get there. It ain't going to cost me $16,600, $14,600 to get there without no investment that's going to pay us what we need to pay so we can go to Tahiti and do the shit we want to do in long term. Part of that money we're going to pay to this therapist over here who's going to get you right so you can kind of have some understanding about what it is you dealing with and the hurts you went through. And I may need some too, because I watch my mama walk these motherfuckers up and down the stairs. You hear me? So I need some goddamn get back so that I can deal with you proper. And I'm speaking to it because a lot of young brothers and sisters have seen this in their life. What do we tell them? And I'm saying it. God rest the dead. I personally never seen it. I had my mother and father in the house. You understand? But I had a lot of friends that did that. Mm-hmm. Mamas got caught up in the crack game. You know, seeing their young friends fuck on their mamas. All that kind of stuff. What do we tell these young brothers? What do we tell these brothers and how they deal with the young ladies that they're dealing with, and vice versa?
Man, I mean, I think just right out of the gate, we need to raise our sons and our daughters the exact same. I think that's where the problem starts. Because when you raise them differently, that creates entitlement. You know what I'm saying, toward them. But when we raise them the same and also just revealing more to them as far as how real life works. I think like a lot of us go outside in the dating world and we're not equipped with the knowledge. So then we running from person to person, getting our heart broken, getting a bunch of damage, this, that, and the third. And by the time you meet that person who's actually good for you, you done had 5, 6 relationships that done went bad, all because you wasn't equipped with the information necessary to navigate initially. It's a lot of men out there, even when we raising our daughters, hey, you ain't dating until you're 40. You ain't dating until you're 35. Instead of just pulling her to the side and saying, hey, baby, this is how this shit work. If you're gonna date a man, for one, you need to know what to look for in a man. These are the traits that you need to look for. He needs to have this, and this. Right. But when you find that man, this is how you take care of him. You listen to him. You create a space for him to speak. You create room for him to feel and have emotions and things of that nature. And you don't judge him. You don't use it against him. You don't throw it in his face. You like what his aspirations are, they're gonna be tied to your aspirations. So you want to push him. You don't want to get in the way. You don't want to make him choose between you and what it is that he's passionate about or what his purpose is. And like that's that type of real hands-on tutelage early, not just when she turned 17, 18, 19 and had a kid and out of wedlock, and now you trying to teach her how to reel back in. No. It need to start before it even gets to that point, so they can know how to go outside and navigate. And it's the same thing when we raising our sons. A lot of times in those single mother households you talking about, she be giving him 34-year-old advice, but he about to go out there and deal with 17-year-old women because he's a kid. Right. So you teaching him all of these things that a 34, 35-year-old evolved woman would want when these young girls don't move like that. So now he outside and everything you telling him is not working. But he looking to his and this dude who toxic, or this dude who the drug dealer in the neighborhood got the cold ass car, he getting all the women, the athlete getting all the women, the dude who got 3 or 4 or 5 women juggling, he getting all the attention. And he like, well, damn, I like the goal is for me to get the attention. But it all started from the mother not being honest with him early. Like, no, these young girls are not that evolved. This is what they want. This is how you can get them. This is that, like, and be honest with them. So that way he don't got to go out there and get his heart broke and get damaged and get cheated on. But the athlete then took the drug dealer and took his girl. So now he going into this situation 2023 after he done lived through all of that damage, and he got a distrust for women. Or just like you said, he's seeing dudes walking up and down the steps coming from your room and things of that nature. You said, so now when I go out here, I got a lack of trust for everything woman.
Yeah.
But I think it all boils down to just not being, for one, not raising our kids the same. And for two, not being 100% honest about what they about to run into when they go outside. We speak to our kids from a very ideal perspective. And I hate ideal advice. Even on platforms today on social media, I see people giving ideal advice, and that shit just rubs me the wrong way because you setting them up to fail. Real life don't work like that.
Pandering
It don't matter
like a
what it ain't
motherfucker.
about. Yeah, it ain't about what it ain't about what you deserve. It's about what you can dictate, what you can negotiate. That's how real life works. But if you teaching somebody, oh, nah, you the prettiest, nah, you the most handsome, or nah, you the this, you the that, you the that, and they not really that, and then go outside and get through in the damn in the garbage can psychologically because you're not being honest with them. So yeah, that's just that we gotta start being real with our kids, man. Like we be looking at our kids damn near like they ain't even human, like they ain't even equal to us. You know what I'm saying? And we setting them up for failure when we do that, which creates the generation that we have now or prior to with the single mothers and all of that, and even now, you know what I'm saying? Relationships just starting on a foundation of bullshit that have no chance to survive right out the gate because we wasn't equipped with that knowledge early, like we should have been. We already don't have an example of family structure. You look at other cultures and stuff like that. It's family structure in there. Like your last name means something in them other cultures. If you do something to fuck up our family reputation, we'll kick you out of the family. You understand? Like that's how deep that is. But with us, shit, a lot of kids walking around with their mama last name.
Oof.
And that right there it is a problem. There is no sense of family. There is no importance tied to it. Man, we'll be here all night and talking about the issues. But I think, like I said earlier, to end my point, we got the opportunity as a generation right now to change all of that.
Well,
But it's gonna start.
you know the truth. I mean, and I don't pull no punches on my platform.
Go for it.
Listen, here's really the bag of it all, right? When we talk about our children, a lot of us are strayed, and I speak to the high numbers and the percentages of single homes, right? The majority of the mamas that are out here and grandmamas before you were merely jump offs. We talk about deadbeat dads and so on and so on. Blah, yeah, he ain't shit. But you know what? If there was no governmental assistance, there'd be a lot of more deadbeat mamas than there would be daddies. And I'm saying this because, hell, even in the midst of life and the things that happened to a lot of our mamas, they were out here getting life as best they could get it, getting it off their back to get it where they need to get it to supply their life. So here you go. You got a Friday that went on, and you went out and you met somebody in the spot, and one thing led to another. You didn't even like this motherfucker. He didn't even like you. but you came up pregnant. What in your rabbit ass mind believed and thought that he would even like the fact that he was having a kid with you? And he was willing to play what Leonardo DiCaprio played, that movie, Catch Me If You Can. Pew, I'm gonna take you to court. Yeah, okay. Pew, Catch Me If You Can. And he gonna live pillow to post for the next 19 years before he decides to say, now buy me a house and settle on in. I'm gonna be the Rolling Stone, like the magazine. But here's the thing. In the midst of it all, a lot of our sons have been raised with half-filled buckets. And our sisters are now wondering where all the good men at and why they doing this and why they wearing the tight jeans and why they doing the shit that they doing. You know why? Because they watched their bitter ass mama and their aunties do the shit that they were doing. And I'm just calling a spade because trust me, I get all kinds of calls and emails and DMs and, man, what should I do? Yeah. Look, and be a man, pull your pants up, get you some Dickies, put on some motherfucking Carhartts, do some different shit. But at the same time, you can only be what was imparted in you. If you never had the idea of a man, you were raised by the nigga next to you. And if he wasn't a man, you can only be what you was imparted. So you have a lot of males that grow up and can't manage their emotions. So I'm gonna circle back, and this is big. I'm a lot of something. I only got 2 more questions for you, and I'm gonna go.
It's all good.
Here's the thing. We as men, we love authentically. Ladies, they love based on their emotions. And I'm gonna speak from birth. From birth, young girls are being hardwired to know at some point in time, if their father's in their life, they have to let go of daddy. We as men, we love authentically, meaning we don't give our hearts to everybody. We don't latch on to everybody. And when we love a woman and we give our heart like we would give our heart to our first love, a woman's first love, i.e. our daughters. So usually when the relationship falters with the woman based on her emotions and emoting all over the place, she's already checked out. So when it ends, we grieve that loss like we've lost a child. So basically to say that when we talk about the young boys who can't manage their emotions nowadays, and I'm seeing a lot of young brothers who can't manage, and they're doing things to young girls because they can't manage their emotions, because they've been imparted with the things that their mothers have gone through, the turmoil, the disappointment, the hurt, the abuse, all that. So they're willing to do things and not manage their emotions properly, right? So the point I'm getting at is this. What do we tell our sons when it comes time for them to step off the porch once again because they're smelling their own piss and they want to be with somebody? They got that itch. How do we tell them to manage their emotions? And I'm speaking for those that have fathers in their lives, that have male figures around. And the women that are raising the children the best they can to put male figures in their lives. I don't give a shit if it's Mr. Otis down the street that fix on cars. You need to take him down there so that Mr. Otis can pump some man shit into him, as opposed to sitting in your house and you talking about a motherfucker that you didn't even know that you was at the Stargist restaurant on a Friday night drinking a beer, and you had a one-night stand with a motherfucker that you didn't even know, let alone liked, and you conceived this young boy, and you decided to keep him because you listened to Lauryn Hill's X Factor, and you want to have a baby, and yeah, you're going to take care of this baby. And the man said, pew, catch me if you can. Yeah. Motherfucker grown now and causing all kinds of heartache because, hell, he's bitter with you because you was out here trying to get some sort of emoting going because you wanted to crash into somebody and let somebody crash into you. What do we tell our sons? Because here, this is where the yin and the yang is off, because you got these young boys growing up with these feminine tendencies and meeting these masculine women out here with all of these accolades, and they got their money right, and they get the credit right, they got the house, they got, they doing their shit. And I'm not knocking them.
Mhm.
That's sexy as fuck. Nothing's more sexy than a woman handling a business, because as far as I'm concerned, that means you can handle my motherfucking business.
Amen.
Yeah. And as a man, and I'm gonna say something. It's real. This is real gangster. You know, some soft ass shit is if you can ask and even crease your motherfucking lip as a man to ask a woman what she brings to the table. You already got the table, motherfucker. The bounty is hers. Just show up and get it. If she's worthy
Right.
of it, I don't need nothing you got. You can't give me nothing but you. That's the only thing I can get for myself. The only thing you need to show up and partake of everything that I got. Fill in the gaps. But like I said, retrospectively, you have the young brothers who are here who have the feminine tendencies and can't control their emotions. So they're emoting like the women. What do we tell our young brothers?
Man, I think we got to be harshly real with our. We got to just get back to manhood, bro. We got to start prioritizing. For one, just letting them know like what is required of a man. I think that's lost. Just in general, it's like you said, it's men who really do expect tangible means to be provided from a woman. Like they expect that. Whenever we have these what you bring to the table talks, I think men bring what's tangible, women bring the intangibles to it. That's the femininity. That's the turning the house into a home. That's the encouragement. That's the support. That's the undying loyalty. That's the counsel that a woman is supposed to bring. Because you as a man, your infrastructure should be so strong to whether she's there or not, you gonna be able your lifestyle is not gonna change. Even me right now, I love my wife to death. If my wife left me tomorrow, my lifestyle is not gonna change because I'm a man. I create my infrastructure. I don't tie my livelihood to nobody else in that way. Now, again, if she's out there accomplishing things, which she should be, and things of that nature, then that's a luxury or that's a benefit to this relationship. But it's a lot of men that are, let's say, buying houses that they wouldn't be able to afford on their own. So now we both signed the lease, and she leave you, and you can't pay that mortgage, or you buying cars that you couldn't be able to afford by yourself. So now y'all buying a car. The car payment is dependent on both of y'all to be able to pay it. If one person leave, the car get repoed. That's what I'm saying. We got to get back to man stuff. Man, being a man is creating infrastructure. That's what we work so hard to do, bro. And that's be able to, again, live where we want to live, drive where we want to drive, and things of that nature. And then we create that infrastructure for a woman to walk into and add intangibles to. But it's a lot of dudes out there that's not even creating that. Like they need a woman to help create infrastructure for him to live in, and that's just backwards to me. So I think we got to get back to manhood. But again, it starts from having strong male examples around you, bro. Just like you said, the dude that work on the cars down the street, the fucking basketball coach at the Y, like the youth league football coach. Like we need to keep associations, keep ties to those type of men so we can pour into our boys. But if not, all they gonna have to listen to is their mama giving them emotional ass unstable advice. And again, can't even blame them for going out there acting like they act after receiving that. But again, it's gonna start with men stepping up and being men.
There you go. I'll tell you what, all you single mamas listening tonight, if you need a a mentor for your son, you call 1-866 bad motherfucker. I'm right here. I'm gonna teach him how to be his man. I'm gonna teach him how to pull his pants up, put a belt on him, get his hair cut, get a shave, and conquer the world. Right here. Yeah. 1-866 bad motherfucker.
For real, right? But you know what the wild part about it is with this content that they're recreating, I think, which again puts us in a very unique position, right? I think in the past, if it wasn't no strong male around, you just didn't have a motherfucker to listen to, like as a young boy growing up, right? But the dope part about this internet is that you got people that's willing to get against. It's like this conversation that we having right now. It's gonna be a motherfucker to watch this and learn something that they didn't know before, that they're gonna be able to add to their relationship, to whereas maybe 20 years ago this wasn't in existence, so they would have to go find it out the hard way. So I think we got to play a role in that too, which is just like you just said, I got a hotline, call in, I help get you a little. But that's real rap though. You got big ass streamers like Casa Nod and all these people that have all of this influence that a bunch of young dudes follow. And so we gotta like, because we in a unique position to have this much influence, to have followers, to have people that listen and hang on to every word that we say. We got to use that shit for right to try to elevate the community. You know what I mean? And if we not, then we doing the community a disservice our damn self.
I'll tell you what, my brother. 1 year from this day, I'm gonna get on your calendar. If I'm not as big as them, I'll give you 20 grand. And listen to me. Listen, I'm built like that.
Mhm.
Right here, I'm telling you, 1 year. I've been doing this for 4 years and change. February 15th will be 5 years. I haven't dumped a dime behind it.
Mhm.
And when I look at my analytics, it's ridiculous. I'm just now starting to dump the money behind it. And I'm gonna speak to me. I don't embellish nothing about me, even down to my federal paperwork. I conceded to what I conceded. And we'll talk offline. But I'm somebody. And I only speak from experience. And the experience that I've had, I see where a lot of times we fail. And a lot of times the things that we as Black men and women do has a lot to do with the hurts we go through. I can honestly say that I was spoiled on the things that I was attributed to or had access and excess to. It took for me to go someplace, to college, to really understand how to move with other men. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because I had no regards. And even at that point, when I went to college, my paperwork spoke volumes for me. So I never had to really deal with it. But as a kid, the things that I experienced and the people that I met, they were all at the university when I got there. So it speaks volumes to your character, but it does not speak volumes to how you react when you are uncomfortable. The measure of a man is not when he's comfortable, but when he's uncomfortable. And this is the very thing that I'm standing on, even on this platform. Everything I talk about, whether it's racism, whether it's how you move, and that's indicative of you as a Black man, that's different from a white man or Asian man or anyone else in this country. I had a group of federal gun instructors on this show, right? And the question I asked to them, okay, you're where now? You're in
Houston.
Houston. Okay. So let's say it's 3:00 in the morning and you on your way home. You armed. You get pulled over. Do you tell them that you're armed or do you allow them to find it? And you're licensed.
Yeah. We ain't got no choice but to tell them, baby. Shit,
No,
they
no, no,
find
no.
it. It might be a rough night for us, brother.
No. Here's the thing. It's a rough night for you already because you do not have the collection for the protection or the collection, the complexion. I told each and every one of them, it was 5 of them on the platform. And they were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell them, we in DC, you better tell them, I don't give a fuck about going to D Street. You hear me? My job is to make it home to my family. If I got to bail out or go before the court and get arraigned and fight it from the street. I will never give an officer a narrative to play quarterback with me. Yeah, I'm armed. I got my gun over here. Look at Philando Castillo. Got his paperwork, got his pistol. Let it be known. What did the officer do? He's not here anymore to discuss or defend himself. Skin a little darker. That hue means a lot. And I'm saying this, the same thing is that how we play our relationships. This is done by divine order that our women are in control of the purse straps in the household as opposed to us. Here's an example. While you're there, Google Alexandria, Virginia. It's a jewel, it's a diamond in the rough. There's so many celebrities that live here. Hoda, Friedrich, I mean, I'm talking about serious this.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd has a house. I mean, I'm talking about serious, quiet money. Here's the thing. You have the narratives being painted where you, regardless of how much money you are or you have, you're a nigga with money. Okay? My partner, I turned him on to the real estate game, had to be 2001, 2. He's got one of the largest properties here. We're talking about this property right now is about 26, 27, 20, $28 million. Him getting stopped in the middle of the night and drug out of his car and everything else. To date, he's got probably about 320 properties, 320 doors that are free and clear. Because of how he conducted himself, they took him. But at the same time, before they took him, they gave him a royal ass whooping.
Of course.
You can't challenge the things that we do. Okay. Even in our relationships, right? You have domestic things that are going on. And the blunt of the blow will fall on us as opposed to our women and further create the rift and divide. Now, because this is a Commonwealth state, I'm not really versed on how they do in Texas. But let's say tonight you have a domestic. Your wife can say, "Damn, well, I don't want to do it." Up here, the state's going to continue to press forward. They're going to pick up the charge, whether she's there or not, and continue to go after you. This is where we are. And this is why it's so hard for a lot of us to govern and manage our emotions and the things we're doing. I honestly tell my sons, look, play this shit out until you're about 38. Fuck on who you want to fuck on, have fun, be on they on some Cyndi Lauper shit. Hey, you're just having fun. You govern your checks like white men do. Hey, look, white men, mortgage, insurance, whatever, whores. Listen to me. Listen to me. This is fact. They have a horse. They have a horse fund. This is from a horse. Whether it's a house rent fund, dog fund, whatever the fuck it is, fund you want. This is for that. I got family members that they got passports and they traveling now because they don't want to deal with the emotional stuff. God damn it, I don't want to grow old alone. Fuck all that. That's not what. Listen, I want my bread. Damn it, I wasn't meant to be here alone. You understand me? So I'm trying to be the best version of a man that I can be for those that are coming up behind me. That is going to preserve my legacy when I'm gone. The dumbest shit. And I love Mike. And trust me, and Mike, we go back. And I will never put anything on this motherfucking platform that it cannot be proved. Your legacy means everything because it was what you were here for. It was what you worked hard for. It is what you instilled in those that are coming behind you. I cannot allow anything that I worked hard for to be distorted or taken from me. Everybody's not worthy to receive all of the good shit that you got. You know what I mean? Even down to your children. Bill Gates, worth $40 billion at the time he made this statement. I ain't giving them nothing. They got to work from the mailroom up. I give them anything, shit, and they not equipped. They're dangerous. You want this $40 billion? You got to work to show them you're worthy of it. Same thing. The problem is this. Our sisters have been out here for too long by themselves. And I'm gonna close this out, and I'm gonna let you get your last thing off with what I'm about to say. How do we get beyond the fact that they have expectations that are unrealistic? In their minds, they create this man that they're supposed to have. But the one thing they do not build into this creation is our flaws. Where does that go? My river house, my daughter would bring, and all my daughters are married and they got the man, But when they were young, they would bring their little friends down to the house, and I was, I was always on the dock. I'm always on the dock, smoking my cigars or my, doing my thing. And I would tell them, look, you don't have to play with this one. They know the game. If you on some Cyndi Lauper shit, you want to have some fun, you want some fuck shit, let it be known. They'll let you know if they with it or not. Don't make this one cry. You see this river back here, they'll never find you. Period. And they all respected it. But in this day and age, where do we go with those that did not have the things that we have? There's a lot of fathers that were there, but they were absentee landlords. They believed that, okay, if I put the money there, then that's enough. No. What are you really instilling or imparting in your daughters or your sons to go out and create this extension of your legacy that you worked hard for?
I think we got to pour into our kids what it is that we want to see. And by that, meaning really like detailed, specific tutelage, rules, guidelines, lesson, morals that we pour into them. I think, and I'm glad you spoke on that, because it's a lot of people that be like, man, as long as I'm paying the bills in here, I got a roof over y'all head, I got clothes on y'all back, right? Then my job is done. I'm doing what my job is. But we as men, we got so much more to pour into our kids than that. And that goes back to what we talked about earlier about being honest with them, life lessons, things of that nature. A lot of the trials and tribulations that we went through, and not being afraid to show vulnerability, not being afraid to talk to our kid about the time that we didn't have all this shit figured out. Because they're gonna see us, and when we in our prime or when we in our glow or whatever the case may be. But teaching your kid the struggles I went through, and this is how I overcame them. Everything not gonna be perfect. It don't matter how much money I got, or it don't matter how prosperous that you living. You're gonna run into issues. So you're gonna have to learn how to, respond to adversity and things of that nature. And this is how you do it. This is how you stay level-headed. This is what to look for when you're dating. This is what, like, real detailed, specific shit early. Not when they 17, 18, or they done already lived a bunch of life and shit. I'm talking about early. And then when we do that, we're gonna create more of what it is that we want to see. But if we're not willing to really sit down and take that time with the kid, help them with the homework, walk them through, ask them how they day was, feel comfortable being, expressing emotions and things of that nature with our kid. It's a lot of, men walking around here that's just, it's like you said, zombies, emotionless. Like, there's people right now that's probably watching this, they ain't never seen their daddy cry one time. Ever. And despite the fact that us, especially as black men, we go through some of the most traumatic shit ever on a day-to-day basis. And we compartmentalize. Hey, that happened, is what it is, but I'm not gonna bring that into my household. And from a woman's perspective, she might say that, oh, he don't want to talk to me. No, it's not that. It's just that the household in our mind is peace. And that's our reprieve. That's what we recharge our battery at. I don't want to bring that bullshit that happened outside in here, because now I'm dealing with it twice. You understand? So I think that, man, we got to be just a little more comfortable, man, expressing ourselves, expressing shit that we're going through. And if it's something going on that we don't like, speaking on it so it can change without one. It's like you got dudes right now who've been, niggas getting ties and socks for Christmas, when in reality he want more, or he want his woman to be a little more spontaneous, or a little more, you know what I mean? Like just anything. Men have wants too, but a lot of times, like, we've been raised to move as if we don't. And then what that does is that causes us to just build resentment, and then it explodes in the emotional ways that we talked about earlier, right? It's a lot of men walking around with just so much pent up frustration, bro. Like one hug, and he might break down crying if somebody hug him too long. So we got to get that off our chest, man. And then once that's done, once we get comfortable expressing ourselves and get comfortable in all of these areas from emotional respect, that's going to make us stronger as teachers, as examples, as things to follow. You understand? But until we do, we kind of walking around with a mask on, if I'm gonna be honest.
Mm.
And how the hell can you learn from somebody who's walking around wearing a damn mask? So
Yeah.
that's just how I see it, bro. Like once that happens, and once men, like I said, just get back to being men, firmly, comfortably in that, like unapologetically in that. We take control of the households again. We take control of the communities again, and stop waiting on things to be changed for us, or waiting on women to change this or that. No, we dictate this shit. We control this shit, and we got to start moving like it if we want to see something different. If not, then we got to shut up complaining and just accept what is. But that ain't the time I'm on. Like I said, I'm gonna dictate my surroundings. I'm gonna dictate my livelihood. I'm gonna point at everybody around me. Everybody that come into my life leave with more than they came with, and that ain't even from a material aspect. That's mental. That's thinking. That's aspirations. That's perspective. Certain shit that is like it's our job as men to pour into everybody around us and create the world we want to see. But in this generation, a lot of men have took a back seat to that, and we becoming more reactive than proactive. And that ain't gonna do nothing but dig a deeper hole for the generations after us to climb out of. So that's just my thoughts on it, bro. I think it start with us, man.
That's what's up. Well, breaking the cycle, man, is really the key. So how do we fix this? My thought, the answer is simple. It start with awareness. We're doing that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Black women need to understand that their strength is a blessing, but it doesn't have to manifest as masculinity. Being soft, nurturing, and feminine doesn't mean being weak now. It means being balanced. And Black men, we have work to do. We need to step up, reclaim our roles as protectors, providers, and keepers, and create safe places for our Black women to embrace their true selves. This requires discipline, accountability, and commitment to healing our own wounds so we can lead with love and not our bullshit ego. You understand me? A lot of times we get caught up in ourselves. I'm a fucking man, and you ain't paid a motherfucking bill in the house in the last 6 months. Really? I'm gonna tell you like this, right? Retrospectively, I don't say no to the women in my lives, right? My life. I wrestle with things, right? And there was a time where I would say, dick a brick, I'm gonna go out here and get it. And if I can't get it that way, I got a pistol. So I'm gonna go get some money. But there is that time where you have to say, well, you know what? Time management and resource. Because I am the project manager over everything that God has given me, my family, my resources, the things that I have. So I have to sit down and really manage this thing over time where the resources will catch up with the time and a lot of things that I need to have, which begets the discipline that I need to instill in my family. This is where we're going. Here's the vineyard. We got to work it. In a matter of time, the grapes will yield the wine that we can sell that will take care of us going forward. The blessing is us, the mind, the brain trust, the health and strength that God has given us, and the ability to till our hands based on the blessings that we've been given through our prayers and everything else. But we have to first shed ourselves from the things that happened to us before, i.e., the headship. Man, the Black man, based on, excuse my French, and I have to do this, God damn it. The white power structure, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Dr. Umar, yeah, good homie. Yeah, anyway, has been put us in a position where we as a Black men has always been second or close third to our own families based on the fact that we haven't provided the resource. And that's done by design. Regardless of what, we have to be able to put ourselves in a position, knowledge with knowledge and the wherewithal, regardless of whether the finance is in place, to manage the finance, to put it in a position where it begins to work for us overall, and manage the time, and also go the extra step to be a part of the healing of the one that's been given the leg up in the world in which we live in, so that she doesn't become competition to us, to look at us in a way where, okay, I got XL bullies. Okay. The baby that they got right now, she's 130 pounds. And trust me, she hits me every time I come in the fucking house. Boom. Yeah, I'm the king. Yeah. I smack I'm daddy. So, but what I'm saying to you is that this is how our women look at us. I'm making more money than you. And I have this position where I'm esteemed, and people are interested in me. I'm basically an exotic thing to them. So they want to talk to me. They want to put me in positions where I can do more and have more responsibility, and so on and so on. I go to my managers' luncheons and dinners and whatever. What do you do? What are you bringing? And the mindset is like, well, damn, you doing all that shit. What are you really doing it for? Are you doing it for you? Or are you doing it ultimately for the family, to make sure that you make provision? And this is where the lines get distorted with the lack of guidance. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of relinquish the evening. Ladies, you weren't even created for yourself. You were created for your Adam, to be your spirit of discernment, which, based on our rib, you have become, because that was taken from us. Because we're impulsive by nature, we are warriors. We go out and we hunt, we kill, we bring it home. We bring it home. We bring it home. I'm gonna say it again. We bring it home. We don't give a fuck how much it costs. If it's a mountain, we bring it home. Your eye for detail, based on your spirit of discernment, will ask, well, shit, you got a better mountain with had more trees on it, a little more snow on the top. Why are all these roots hanging on the bottom? Is any people gonna be able to live on this motherfucker? Can you put a house on there? Can we get a cabin to put on the ridge over there? Or can we put a bungee jumping on it? What can we do with this mountain that you brought us home? And how much did you actually pay for it? How hard did you work for it to even get it? That thing. You can't be out front and then be in the
Mic check, mic check.
Somebody got in the back office. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
And with that said and done, it convolutes the positions in which we need to be playing. If someone's playing the leadership, then that means that this person's out front. They're willing to take the blows and the blunt of everything that comes with it. But the one behind and in the back office is willing and able to put us in a position to maneuver and recover from any damage that comes with it. You can't be out front taking it in the face, as my childhood friend Donnell Rollins would say. Take it in the face, son. You can't take it in the face and be leadership. If I need you to manage the back office, manage the fucking back office. You can't be seen. Real bad folks move in silence, and they reap the benefits. Let me go out here and get punched in the eye. Let me go get punched in the face. Let me take the blunts and the bruises and come home and let you love on me like you're supposed to. Lick my wounds. We lick the wounds together. We sit on the curb. I don't give a shit if the lights out tonight. We on the curb with a fucking bologna sandwich and a bottle of water, and we figuring out how we gonna get this $1 million tomorrow because the fucking deal is on the line. But if we competing, we can't get nothing because you doing you and I'm doing me. What does that matter? I've been in situations where, shit, I've had a woman and my woman fucking lose her motherfucking wallet, and I'm sitting on the phone telling her, "Hey, look, man, Cash App work all day long. I don't have my motherfucking wallet, but you know what? You need cash. I'll make sure cash get there. But at the same time, you focus on your wallet. If your wallet meant that much, cancel all the fucking credit cards in there. Cash is coming. We'll figure out everything else. But because you in the mindset that you have to be the leader and you are competing with me, you don't hear nothing I said. So everything's an issue. Recognize your role, play your motherfucking role. Stop trying to be the best man you can be when you got a goddamn man being the best man that he can be and striving every day to be that. You'll have something. If not, what's the song say? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Gotta have something if you want to fuck with me. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, look, man, I appreciate my brother, man, taking time out, man. Listen, I don't give a shit where you are, man. If you love it, hey, go chap in, follow, subscribe, hit that bell with Crew Season. You hear me?
So,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Hey, go follow my brother, Trill AC, on every platform. Insta Slut, Facebook, YouTube, everything. You hear me? Tonight's
So,
conversation. Follow them people, man. Listen, they put in the work. Shout out to Ace, man. Shout out to Kitty. Shout out to Trip. Shout out to everybody that's on that platform, man. They doing the thing, man. Listen, they bringing you something, man. A lot of y'all, a lot of you guys, you show up and you want to come and you're looking for this Jesus moment. Listen, it's merely to put the power of suggestion in your mind so you can go back and do the work that you need to do. The resources are there. It's on you. Ain't nobody save you but you and Jesus. You hear me? You know, if you believe in Muhammad, whatever you believe in, your faith is your own. I'm not here to judge you, but God damn it, you have to do the work. Recognize, look, everybody didn't do it to you. And if you've grown as a motherfucker, a lot of times you mismanage yourself. You mismanage your time, your box, your money. And fellas, you need to gird your loins. Whatever it is you got going on, your perverse nature, you need to put that shit aside and recognize what means more to you. Is it your sanity, your monetary means, your spirituality, your physicality, whatever the fuck it is, you need to get it together. And I'm telling you like this: a lot of you brothers are fucked up because shit, you'd even exploit your own family to feel good. Damn shame. And that's gonna go over a lot of your heads. But ladies, what I will say tonight, you'll get a lot more shit with sugar. You can get sugar with shit. Yeah. And on that note, man, I need to let my brother, man, get his final thoughts in, man, because I need to close this off. I can't take no more time of his, man. Listen, it is gracious, man. You know what? God don't make no mistakes. It was what it would need to be because you wasn't supposed to be up on the platform that night when I dropped that missile up in there. It was hot. I love everybody in Baltimore. Man, there's some good folks in Baltimore, man. I love Baltimore. Listen, but they was hot that night, man. They had no understanding.
I could imagine too. I know they went crazy. They was cussing you out that audience. I know they were.
Man, give them something, man. Give them something to sleep on tonight, man, brother.
Man, bro. First off, man, I just want to say I appreciate you having me on here, bro. It's been a hell of a conversation, man. You've been
Your mute.
solid right
Mute is on. I
right
think
from
your
the.
mute is on. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, mic check. Can you hear me?
Your mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You good? Yo,
I hear
mic
you.
check. Mic check. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can hear. Mic check. Mic check. Hey, put leaves in the chat if you can hear me. Mic check. Mic check. Let me see. Yo, mic check. Can you hear me? Everybody in the chat, put a leaf in the chat if you can hear me.
Hit your mute button. Check your mute. You might be on mute.
Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
Okay, try now.
Let me see.
Can't hear you.
Oh, let me see.
He's gonna go out and come back in. Give us a second. Bear with us. Man, if you like the show, man, listen. If you on, if you like the show, please, please, please subscribe, hit the bell, like. If you're on InstaSlut, follow me. Follow me on InstaSlut. If you're on Facebook, follow me on the Facebook. If you're on YouTube, man, come on through. Let me know you came through. You back?
Yeah, I'm good. Mic check. Can you hear me?
Can't hear you. Your mic is off. I don't know what's going on with your mic.
Oh, well, damn, I don't know what's going on. They say they can hear me though. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I think it's your headphones. Take off the headphones.
Still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Is it on this side?
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
You unmute
Mic
her on
check,
this
mic
side.
check.
I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, brother.
God damn.
Mic check. Might be the headphones, bro. I think you might got to redirect your audio.
What the hell just happened?
Yo. Yo. Mm.
I don't know what happened, man. I can't hear you. We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. God damn. All right, we're gonna do sign language.
Nice.
I don't know what happened. What happened, bro?
Yeah, I don't know, brother.
God
But
damn.
look though.
Oh my
Hey,
gosh. Hey, look, man. Much love to you. Much love. We'll get it in. And we'll schedule it, man. I gotta come on cruise season, man. I gotta chop it up with the bros, man. Listen, I appreciate all you do, man. Keep doing what you do. Hey, we gotta help our young brothers, man, and our sisters out here. And all you do, man, I appreciate you, man. Much love, man.
bro.
My prayers up to you and
Appreciate
your family, everybody that's going up, man. Listen, happy holidays. And we're gonna meet up. I'll be out on the tour next year doing my scavenger hunt.
it. For sure.
Hey, the
For
scavengers.
sure.
Hey, dropping scud missiles everywhere we go. And
Yeah.
man, everybody that's on here, man. And, hey, look, shout out to my brother, man. Follow him on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, man. If you're on YouTube, man, follow him on Cruise Season. Follow him on Instagram at Trill AC and Facebook, man, at Trill AC, man. Tap my
So
brother, man. Let him know you came through. Show him some love, man. And all you get, man, get some understanding. Hey, man. Love you, man. Peace. Hey, look, thank y'all for coming through tonight, man. If y'all enjoyed the show, man, if you like it, man, once again, follow me here on YouTube, man. And Yeah, on Instagram and Facebook, man, and all you're getting, get you some understanding, man. Listen, we can only be the best us that we can be, recognizing the mistakes that we make and not holding anyone else accountable other than us gives us healing. The stoic way of doing things, man, is not to allow judgment to affect or control the outcome of our life. When we begin to judge folks, man, that becomes our burden. Marcus Aurelius was a real person. To be as peaceful as possible and to live in gratitude in all the things that we do, even extending ourselves to people, puts us in a place of peace. All right? So do the things that you want to do, but do it cheerfully. Be a cheerful giver. And all you're getting, get some understanding. And if you like the show, once again, man, follow me on the Insta Slut, man. Listen, YouTube, follow me on the Instagram, follow me on Facebook. And all you're getting, man, get you some understanding tonight. And, you know, if no one else loves you, I love you. Peace. See you next Monday.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's the Romello Marcellous show. The fly uncle you always wish you had.
Bring 'em out.
Here to give you every aspect of game from a real player's perspective. It's the biggest boss from business, entertainment, love, and life.
Had to find my inner power.
To fashion, etiquette, and current events.
Major show alert.
All to enhance the happiness already inside you.
Today is about the power of you.
Check it out. You're now rocking with the best.